From his early days with James Brown to his groundbreaking work with Parliament, Funkadelic, and his successful solo career, he has been an unstoppable force in music. Hang on to your hat. South by Southwest, we are here to get funky in the studio with the master of groove who brought you the world to his feet. With his psychedelic funk style on his bass guitar, he is joined by one of the artists he is producing. Please welcome living legend Bootsy Collins and Phantasma to the South by Southwest studio. How we doing?
Oh man!
I tried my best to give you a good intro. You know.
After that, I don't know.
We can leave. We can leave.
Yeah,
Let's go.
You said it all, man.
Yeah, thank you. But thank you though for coming to the studio. Welcome, man. It's incredible.
This is awesome.
Tell us about your experience here at South by and why it's been important for you.
Well, I think all the times that we have been coming to South by Southwest, it's like, it's a breath of fresh air, really, because we seem to have gotten away from music and people.
Right.
So this kind of brings music and people together. And that to me is a very good thing. And I'm comfortable with that, and hopefully others that's coming up will, because it's so much to push people away from coming together.
Right. That's the easy part.
Yeah. And music is always been able to bring people together.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad to be on that side of bringing people together and meeting new artists, and helping to groom them, and because at some point James Brown saw something in me, and grabbed us in, and I'll never forget that. And so that's what I try to do.
Incredible. Well, you've been bringing people together for 5 decades, man, with music. And speaking of bringing people together, Phantasma, welcome to the studio as well.
Thank you so much.
It's good for you to be here. Tell us about your work here with Bootsy and exactly how did you two come together?
How did we two come together? Well, it wasn't the time of the pandemic that when I listened to Bootsy's music once again, and it was suddenly that one specific track really, really hit me so bad that I had to do a remake of it, an own version, which is an homage to his track though. And he picked up on it, he saw it, he liked it, and then a ride started, and now we're here.
Yeah, and we were online. I mean, because everybody was shut in.
Right,
and all us artists and musicians were trying to figure out,
what to do.
What do we do?
Right.
Because all we do is travel and do music, and and even in recording, you had to figure out new ways. Fortunately, I guess for us, that the online thing was up and running and, and popping, and so I had to get familiar with it. So I got online and just start, oh, this looks familiar. So things were not they were bad enough, but they wasn't bad enough to stop us.
Right.
Completely, because that was incredible.
You can't stop creativity, man.
Yeah.
You can't stop that.
And you just have to figure out new ways to get it out there. And it's like, she's a star. I saw it when she did the track. I was like, I didn't know exactly what to do or if we were going to do anything.
Right.
But, we started connecting, and it's like,
In a time we were supposed to be separate, connection happened.
We just came together.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, Bootsy, Questlove called you, and I'm going to quote this here, the spiritual epicenter of postmodern black music.
What?
Right? Yeah, he called you that.
Oh my God. I hope I can feel those boots.
You're doing it, man. But can you expand, now that you've heard it, can you expand on what he meant by that and just kind of reflect on your role in music in the past 5 decades?
I think people identify me as funk, making something out of nothing.
Yeah.
And that's when they look at me, they don't look at me. They look at me like, kind of superstarish, but at the same time, I'm real people. And if I had to choose one, I would just be able to say I'd love to be the real person.
Yeah.
Because that's what I bring to the stage other than the music. And once I start accepting that and embracing that, things begin to happen like Brother Amir said. You know,
Yeah.
even though I wasn't trying to do it, that was just me.
You just being yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and trusting, trusting that funk. If I go out there in the audience, I'm trusting, because I got the shield, that shield that surrounds me. I mean, it's love and funk, So, we kind of pass that on and they pass it back and they pass it, out there in the world. That's what I see, passing all this funk music and love and all this kind of thing, especially in the world today.
Yeah. We need that.
Yeah, especially, and so when I see young eyes, light up and sparkle, and it's like, wow, that makes me light up again.
Yeah.
So, it's ongoing.
Okay.
It's ongoing.
Well, speaking of young eyes, Phantasma, we've heard Bootsy describe how he feels about himself.
Yeah.
What is it about Bootsy to you that makes him just so special?
You know what's so wonderful? When you look up to someone and you're really inspired by someone, by the music, which is really captivating for you, and then you get to know the person, and it is actually a really, really kind, wonderful person. Wow. That is so touching.
Right.
That is like when
Changes
you get to know your
everything, right?
idols, and then they're really like that.
Yeah.
Meet your heroes.
Wow. Wow.
Pretty deep.
So.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, it's like everybody says don't meet your heroes, but when it happens, you're just like.
Well, and I mean, when it comes to music, he's coined basically everything that I love in music. Like, Bootsy was first, basically, so everything that I love, Bootsy has done in some way before. So yeah, I'm totally honored and happy to get to work with him and to be here. And yeah,
Well,
I'm really, really grateful.
That's great. Did you know that Rolling Stone named Bootsy the 4th best bassist of all time?
Wow.
Of all time, of all the bassists that have come through music, 4th best of all time. I
mean, when people, whatever they say about me or do, it's like, I embrace it, but at the same time, it's like, how can this long-haired sucker be anything? I mean,
Yeah, it's almost unbelievable in a way.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's not really unbelievable. It's more like, okay, but I'm not done.
Right.
I'm not finished. I'm gonna do this and continue to do this until I can't.
They put you on a ranking and you still.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm not keeping score. I'm not counting on anything. I'm just doing what I do. And I think musicians and artists love to do what they do. And if the accolades come, great. If they don't, I'm still loving doing what I'm doing. So all of that's beautiful. But I love to meet the phantasmas and of the world.
Yeah. So when people hear the word funk, right, your name immediately pops up. But into the I would say like a lot of the younger generation, right? They hear funk and they don't really know what that means.
Yeah.
If you were to describe funk to them, like what would you call it? How would you describe that?
Funk is making something out of nothing. I was nothing. To me, I'm still nothing. But I'm always trying to make something out of it. I'm always, whatever you got, like, I had a guitar when I got with James Brown. I wasn't even playing really bass yet. I was playing guitar.
Right.
And he, my brother was a guitar player. I was trying to be like him. So, James didn't need 2 guitar players. He needed a guitar player and a bass player.
Right.
So I had to choose bass. So that was making something out of nothing. I didn't have a bass. I wasn't even thinking about playing bass.
Right.
Yeah. And then the big part about it is I didn't have a bass. So I had to take the guitar and put 4 strings on it and make my own bass to play with James Brown.
Wow.
And he hated that bass. he loved what I played, but he hurried up and got me a real bass.
He said, "What you doing, man?"
Yeah. No, he said, "You can't come on stage with that. You do it this one time. Can't come on my stage." I was like, okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm happy. Let's do this.
Oh, wow. I never knew that. You manufactured your own bass.
Yeah, but that's what the whole funk thing, for me, it ain't just music. It's your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And we lived through that. We lived in that. You know, we live up under that. So, you know, I gravitated toward that because it was always my next door neighbor.
Right.
It was always my friend. You know, I mean, even when I'm down, it's my friend.
Right.
You know, what do you turn to when, you know, when you're getting depressed or when you turn to your music? You know, and people you know, it's like, people be like, you know, but you turn to your music,
Yeah.
you know, and then you write the song. Marvin Gaye and them, all these incredible cats, if you notice the pain, the emotions that they felt in those songs, you feel them. Even though you
Universal.
might not have been through as much as they've been through, whatever you're going through, you feel that, you know, and that's what I want to try to keep alive in these young, you know, just like, you know, Phantasma.
Right.
You know, when she's rapping or singing, that pain comes through, you know, whether she knows it or not. I mean, you know, it's like, it's something that you don't try to do.
Right.
You know, it just comes out, you know, and once you recognize it, it's a beautiful thing because everybody is going through something,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes to funk, like in my mind of funk, you know, it's crazy to think that something that started here expands to the whole world, right? It becomes a global thing. That's got to be a great feeling. Phantasma, you are from Germany.
Yes.
Right? Like, why don't you talk to me about like how do you fit into like the heritage of funk music, and specifically, how do you see yourself? How do you see your relation to singer Nina Hagen?
Well, Nina Hagen is a great inspiration for me. I really love her music, her style. Well, for me, when it comes to funk, for me, it's like it's the root. It's the root of so many other genres. I wouldn't even say genres because funk isn't more than a genre.
Yeah.
But it's really the basis for so many things. And for me, there's really no contradiction in fusion this with the Nina Hagen kind of operatic vibe. For me, you can mix all of that together, create your own thing, and I think it's so great how that blends together because there's no rules to music, there is no barriers. So this is how that comes together.
Endless possibilities when it comes to the music.
So cool, yeah.
I dig that. So for the people who want to learn about funk, right? Like, what albums would you like handpick and say, buy these right here? Bootsy's records, of course, but you know, what are some other like funk albums that you two would be like, you got to get this one if you want to learn about some funk?
Wow. You know,
Sly Stone, of course.
oh yeah, definitely.
James Brown,
James
of
Brown,
course.
of course, yeah.
Well, that's
Bootsy's thinking hard on this.
You know what I'm saying?
He's
It's
going
like,
through the catalog in his mind. He's like,
zoom, 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 zoom.
he flipping through the records like, let me see what we got here.
Oh man, for me, you know, it's like funk is a combination of gospel, blues, even country. You know, and so all of these things have melted into one thing. That's why when we say the power of the one, that means all of it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, I hate to separate things.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, everything is kind of separated. I understand that. But it takes all of it to make the one thing, you know? And that to me is the funk.
Yeah.
You know, that is the funk because nobody really wants to embrace all of it. But I do. You know why?
Yeah.
Because I'm funky. I'm funky like that.
From the head to toe.
And you know, you want to be different, be different.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, you are allowed to be different. That's what, you know, helped me a lot was I knew I was different, but I didn't know how to, well, I can't say I didn't know how to express it because I just knew that I had to be different. You know, when it came down to what are you gonna play, just a regular guitar, regular bass? It's like, no. You know, I've been drawing in school. I'm supposed to be learning stuff, you know, and I'm drawing stick men with bass guitars that's made out of a star, star glasses. I didn't know that was gonna become who I'm recognized as, you know. But it's about stepping out on what you believe, what you feel, like Tazzy did, you know, stepping out, you know, and, you know, we gotta let kids see that they can step out,
Right.
you know, and you don't have to just fit into one just because you got a bunch of numbers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, if you're trying to get a bunch of numbers, then you have to be like so-and-so, and you have to be like so-and-so, you know. But I don't just want to be having a whole lot of numbers. I want to rip these mothers to pieces with some great funk. I mean, you know, you know, and I might get 1 point for that, you know, but give it here, because that's the way I'm coming. That's the way I'm rolling.
I feel it.
You know.
You talked about like the different types of funk, and it's all one.
Yeah.
With that in mind, you've collaborated with so many artists, from James Brown to Fatboy Slim to Silk Sonic.
Yes.
And like, we can't forget Groove is in the Heart by D-Light. We can't forget that one.
And probably one you don't remember is Groovegrass. That was with the country guys.
See,
You know, Scott Rouse produced that, you know, and of all, he came to our gig in Memphis, and this was back in the day, and he was the only white guy in there, you know, and they were jamming. I mean, everybody was jamming. He was jamming. I didn't know him from the hole in the wall.
Right.
He came back to the dressing room and said, I want you to play with, and these are all big, heavy dudes with the musicians, you know, studio musicians, and I want you to jam with them, you know, and we just got to have that groove. And I was like, and I just knew that, you know, it's like country music. I was like, what am I gonna do? You know, I'm saying this to myself.
Of course,
And he's saying like he done already seen it. Like, this gonna be the bomb. Yeah, this is gonna be, you know. And I was like, wow, okay. So I knew that, you know, I probably wasn't gonna do it. And so I said, okay, let me give him a ridiculous number. And so we can freeze this right now, you know. So he said, how much you charge to do that? You know, it was about 6 or 7 tracks on the album. And I said, give me 10 G's, I'll do it. You know, he's like, 10 G's? You'll have it Monday. And I was like,
go.
I was like, no, I said, like, yeah, right. You know, because I get that rap all the time, you know?
Yeah, of course.
So come Monday, we had the 10 G's in the bank. It was like, oh man, I really got to come up with something.
I didn't know they was gonna do it like, okay, all right, let's get started.
And he was signed to Warner's, the same company I was with, and we did it. We did it. I mean, you know, and I was so proud of that record. You know, even though, you know, it didn't do what everybody was expecting. Yeah. But it was brand new. It was fresh. It's still fresh today. Remember the lady with the tag on her? She was on the record too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad we're doing this on camera, because now we're putting a new audience onto this. So, you know, might have not done well now, but you never know. New life, you know what I'm saying?
You're right, yeah. Groovegrass, that was...
Groovegrass.
Yes.
We with it.
Yes.
All right, so you said, and we got a quote here, I like to have younger people around me that I'll be involved with them a lot more now, as opposed to being the main focal point. Yeah. Which is really cool. You know, it's like ushering in and kind of like, you know, supporting like the new school. Yeah. Explain why supporting young artists like Phantasma here is so important in the industry.
Well, if James Brown hadn't have done that for me, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. You know, he probably had other reasons to do it, you know, because he really needed, you know, that band right there, right? You know, his other band had quit on the spot. Yeah. So it was like, you know, he knew that we knew all of his songs. You know, he recorded at King Records in my hometown. So he knew of us because we were recording everybody else in King Records. You know, so he was like, "Yeah, call Bootsy and them. They own it. You know, call them boys." You know, and they call, and Bobby Bird called and said, "I'll be in 45 minutes. I'll be there on James Jet." And we was like, "Yeah, right." Right, you know, and sure enough, there it was.
History was made.
Yeah. So with that said, that's what this is doing for me. You know, I'm doing it on purpose. Right. You know, he was doing it because he needed, you know.
It was an opportunity that opened up.
Yeah, and he needed that right then, because the audience was waiting for the band to play. We didn't know that. I mean, you know, so when we walk in, they looking like, that them motherfuckers is. You know, yeah. I mean, we the bad guys, and we didn't have a clue what was going on.
And here you come with your manufactured like bass
Oh
guitar.
man, it was the worst. I mean, it was the worst situation, you know, but it turned out to be the best.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey,
so,
look where we at now.
yeah.
Right? From
yeah,
that moment.
That's right.
It's great. All right, so one final question. If you were forming like an all-star band, and I want to point this out to the two of you, Fantastic,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you time to think. If you were forming an all-star band, living or dead, like who are you putting in as your lead singer, guitarist, and drummer?
Woohoo! Wow.
Have fun with this.
You thanking God it ain't you first, right? Oh man. Okay, Jimmy, definitely guitar.
Jimi Hendrix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, singer. Wow, singer. Wow, it was so many bad. I mean, oh man, wow.
I love this question so much.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, oh wow. Oh God. You messed me up there, man. You really messed me up.
I'm telling you, man. Like we have to come up with a good one.
Well, you know, I've always liked Howlin' Wolf. You know, he just made me feel special things when I was tripping on LSD. I mean, you know, Howlin' Wolf, his vocals and his deliverance. You know, I mean, that voice. Yeah. You know, that voice, it makes you tremble, even if you don't know what he's talking about.
Right. You're
You
just
know?
hearing that melody, that like kinda,
Yeah, you know, and it's just, you know, I mean, so between him, Otis Redding.
Otis Redding, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Squeeze it. Like, come on.
Oh man, I hate to say this, but on the love thing, Al Green. Oh man, you
Al
can't
Green?
beat that.
Okay.
Man, come on.
All right,
you
so we
know.
got Jimmy, we'll say Al Green,
Yeah.
just so we can put you out
and
of your
Buddy
misery.
Miles.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I mean, with the drum, I always loved his solid. Well, daggone it, oh, man. Okay, here it is.
All right,
For
here we go.
the drummer, Class Stubblefield.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to play with him and Jabbo. You know, that's for me, two of the greatest drummers that had their own thing. You know, no matter what nobody say, they had their own signature. You know, you can get a lot of, you know, I know a lot of drummers that can play a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but can't nobody play the signature style that these guys developed. You know, now I wouldn't even say they developed it because they had it.
Yeah.
That's what they brought to the
Yeah.
table, you know, and, you know, I always looked at that like, God, the signature, I was like, what is this that they got? Because I know a lot of more drummers that could kill, you know,
yeah.
but these cats got the signature sound that's just so, you know, and I get the chance to stand in between it. Here's one here, here's one there, and I get the chance to stand between them and there's JB.
Oh man.
So man, it don't get no. I mean, you know what the, you
just
know.
described it.
Yeah.
That's it right
yeah.
there.
You know, so drumming, I'd probably have to take them two and mash them into one. You know, Jabbo and Clyde.
You did what you had to do.
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
to do that.
Yeah. Now the pressure is on. Oh, did I name everybody?
Yeah, you did. You named Jimi Hendrix as
Yes.
your guitarist.
Yes.
We got Otis Redding,
Yes.
singer,
Yes.
and then you got a mashup of you guys on the drums.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
That's
it.
cool. That's
Now,
cool.
I would love to sit here and talk all day, like Phantasma. I don't know if you like got your stuff going, but we're unfortunately out of time. She's like, I don't know if you got it. If you want to, if you have all three.
I mean,
No. Go ahead.
no, I
couldn't.
could only add Aretha Franklin for me personally.
Yes.
Vocals, but I mean, yeah, the names that you just said are incredible. So
Same list.
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin switched out for Otis. All right.
switched. I don't know.
It sounds dirty. It sounds dirty when you say like switching them up. Hey, it's okay. It had to be done. I'm sorry to put you in that tough position, but thank you so much for coming to the South by
This was
Southwest
awesome,
studio.
man. Thank
This is
you.
incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you.
Thank
Nice to
you.
meet you. And thank you all for watching. All of our South by Studio interviews are on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/SXSW. I'm your host, Juju Green. We'll catch you guys next time. The thought process that went
was
for you.
pressure.
It was a lot of pressure, like on the spot.